Today's quite a special day because in today's video, I'm finally going to be able to try an ENGL Savage. Now this is the Mark 1 version and I have only just plugged into it and just set some levels on the interface and the amp. So this is going to be like a first impressions sort of video captured on camera. Because normally what I do is when I get a new amp, I normally dial it in, but this time I feel like, all right, let's just take you through the motions as well. So this was lent to me by my good friend Zurab, who's an amazing guitar player. And yeah, let's check it out. So at the moment, most of the EQs and all the levels are just midway, the halfway point, except for the master volume, which is on like 1. The lead volume is just after 12 o'clock, but let's boost it up a bit. And it's getting a bit hot on the interface, so I'm going to bring that down a bit. And already it sounds like a nice halfway point between an ENGL Fireball and the Powerball here. The Power, it's like got all that spikiness that you get from the Fireball sound, that nice high end. But yeah, let's mess around a bit more with the sound. It's already getting hot on the interface again. Let's bring it down a second. Let's mess around with some of the EQs. So there's a button saying lead boost. Let's press that. It's getting hot on the interface again. Bloody hell. All right. The lead boost just brings up the mid-range, which I really like. And it's got this Marshall-like tightness that I remember from the old DSL that I had. It's like when you stop playing, it just shuts up a lot. The difference with this Savage is that it doesn't have a noise gate, and I really wish it did, because it's got all this like humming noise and it's just a bit annoying. But so far, so good. Now let's mess around with a few things. Let's bring the gain down a bit. See what that sounds like. Let's bring that back up. Get that nice crispiness. So yeah, the tone right now kind of reminds me of the Pantheon I Worlds I Create guitar tone. But let's mess around with the EQs a bit more. Let's bring the gain back a touch. What's this contour button? What does that do? So this is contour in. And off. Oh, it just takes away some of the mid-range, which, yeah, let's try this rough, smooth switch. Probably better if you're doing lead stuff instead of the black metal thing. High balance. Now I haven't touched the EQ yet, but I just want to see what everything does. Turn high balance all the way up. Huh, that's strange. Maybe it works with the rough. No idea. Contour? I don't really hear much difference. Oh well, let's leave it up. Now let's mess around with the EQ. Let's bring back the bass, more mids. Let's have a little bit less treble. I'll mess around with the presence in a bit. Nah, too honky. That's weird. Bring the bass up, middle back down, treble up. It seems like the halfway point is a really nice EQ sound. Like, bring back the treble a bit. Yeah, that's really surprising. I was expecting the EQ to be messed around with a lot more, but if you just leave everything in the middle, I mean, yeah, I just need to push the treble up just a tiny bit, bring the mids back down a little bit. What about the bass? Makes it a bit beefier. Let's have that here. Bring the mids down a touch more, see what that's like. That's tricky. There's a tricky one. Let's bring the bass back down a bit more, have the mids right in the middle. Touch down the mids, a touch. This is what I do when I'm with an amp. I spend a lot of time really just trying to make sure it's just right for how I need it. Touch more mids, touch more bass, touch more gain. I haven't touched the presence just yet. Good sound. Depth boost. What does this do? Oh. Wow. See, okay, that's clipping on the interface. Basically, if you want like an insane amount of low end, yeah, depth boost. Let's just whack the presence up a bit more. Super, super scratchy. Let's bring it down a bit. Bring it down a bit. Yeah, the presence is... the nature of the Savage is far more trebly than it is on the Powerball and arguably the Fireball as well. It's got this very, very cool high treble sound. It's a good black metal sound. I've just figured it out whilst I was playing it. The ENGL Savage is the PV6505 without any of the silly PV drawbacks. It's actually a nicer sound in the room, and it's got all of that high end, it's got all of that mid punch, and it's pretty much perfect. If you want that PV sound, this is that but better. So much better than the PV6505. Like night and day difference between the two. This is ENGL's 6505. The Fireball's its own thing, but this is ENGL's 6505, man. It's really punchy. Let's try a few more tone things. Let's put a bit more gain, a bit more bass, touch less mids. Let's try with a little bit more treble, see what that's like. Oh, it's lost something. Let's try with the lead boost off. Nah, it doesn't sound as good. Lead boost on with the contour. Do you know what? Now I think we're getting somewhere. That contour. Let's bring the middle up a bit more presence. That's sounding a bit more like it. Touch bass down, a bit more treble, a bit less mids. Oh, so close to an amazing sound. Let's boost up the mids a little bit, bring back that treble, but a bit more presence to try out. Touch less treble. And what I want to do is swap this out for my ML modifier, because it's exactly the same strings, broadly the same kind of construction. Of course this has a Floyd, but I just want to hear the difference with the passive pickups and see how this sounds. Right, so I was feeling quite pleased about myself after finishing that, but I was messaging Zurab and he mentioned that the two gain controls have an effect on the lead gain channel. So I want to get that checked out and on camera. And the second thing is I was listening back to some of the audio and it sounded really boxy, and then I just adjusted the mic position so it's going to be a much better representation of the amp sound. And it sounded good, it sounded okay, but not as good as it does now. So let's try out this lead gain feature. So the gain, so you've got two gains. You've got gain and then lead gain. So lead gain is at number 5, like 11 o'clock, just before halfway, and the gain is at completely midway. So I'm going to turn up the gain. Okay, now it's getting a bit more firewall territory. Yeah, now it's sounding proper cool. Really good. It's getting a bit more firewall territory now with having that, let's say, the pre-gain, like gain 1 instead of lead gain. Yeah, like. What an amp. And you know what, let's try it with the Dean Zero. This is such a cool amp. This is such a cool amp. This has probably been like one of the best amps I've borrowed for a YouTube video. Yeah, the ENGL Savage. Yeah, yeah, it's good shit. Yeah, I like the ENGL Savage more than the Powerball, I think. But let's see how it compares in the next video, where I compare all three ENGL amps, and it's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, the Savage 120, if it's in your budget, definitely get it. Try a Fireball first, I would say, and then you can choose what you like. But it's like different flavors. You know, it's whether you like, I don't know, ketchup with your chips, or barbecue sauce, or chili sauce. It's all good, but just everyone has their preferences. But yeah, that's the ENGL Savage. Stay tuned for the next video.